Digital Accelerator Program Informational. I am JD, the Digital Marketing and Technologies Manager for Schmidt Family of Companies. Help with all of the digital marketing team, some of whom you'll meet in a little bit here. And very happy you guys are here. So what we're talking about today, unsurprisingly, is our Digital Accelerator Program. We're going to talk about where it came from, why we launched it in the first place. We're going to talk about the team who you would be working with, who is part of this Digital Accelerator team. And then we're going to be talking also about, this is exactly what I thought, people coming in. Then we're going to be talking about what is in the program, going through all the different levels and stuff like that. If you guys have questions along the way, use the chat there to talk about stuff. But honestly, I think we're ready. I mean, I'm ready to dive right in. So we're gonna start talking about it. So, Digital Accelerator Program, DAP for short. Dappers are what our digital marketers. I mean, I say that's what they're called, but that's what we call ourselves, the Dappers. So, what is Digital Accelerator? Where did it come from? So I've been whenever I think about this, it's shocking, with the company for about 6 years now. In September will be my 6-year anniversary, which is crazy. And I've been doing something social media or digital marketing related since the beginning of that. And one thing that I've heard almost from day one is this desire from agents for somebody to do the digital marketing for you. And there's a plethora of reasons, right? I don't know how. I don't have the desire to learn how. I'm savvy with it, but I'm not consistent, or I don't have time. I know how to do it. I just don't, I don't think it's the best use of my time. There's a bunch of reasons why, but that was one of the common refrains is, I want someone to do this for me. And it was always difficult to do that because at the time, we've got about 2,000 agents, and in order to do that is incredibly difficult to be able to run that just in terms of bandwidth alone. So the other part of this is that I have seen so many third-party programs out there in the past 6 years, whether it's emails that you guys send me like, hey JD, is this a good program or whatever, or if it is a email that I get from other third parties. And a lot of them are good. I got nothing against the idea of a third-party digital marketing company, but a lot of the ones that I see are deceptive, not necessarily scams. I don't like that word, but I feel like they're oftentimes more concerned with getting you to pay them a monthly subscription fee than they are with bringing business to you, to grow your business. And so when Tracy, who our president of marketing, when she and I were starting to talk about this idea of creating a sort of a program where we did the digital marketing for you, it was very important to us that it was effective, frankly. And that might sound obvious, but we were so concerned with bringing actual business goals. I've seen so many programs where they have this long list of all of these things we're going to do for you, but only 2 or 3 of those things are actually effective or powerful or important or anything like that. And so they just try to puff the feathers as opposed to actually have value. So I wanted to make sure that what we did was targeted, that it had value, that it brought in business, that it did something effective, and that's where Digital Accelerator was born out of. You'll notice that I keep saying digital marketing plan. I don't say social media marketing, because it's more than that. It's more than just a Facebook post here or there. So we tried to, like I said, our goal was to make it as powerful as possible, as effective as possible, and as affordable as possible. So we're going to talk about we'll talk about the pricing and stuff in a little bit. The leadership at Schmidt, Ken, Mike, and Tom, and Tracy, and Carrie, and Steve, there's a lot of leadership now. Todd, Veza in commercial, they're all very concerned with making sure that this was affordable, and so they have really made the cost for you as an agent as low as we can. I once saw, I use this example all the time, but the first month that we relaunched this program, which would have been January 2021, so last January, that same month I got an email from a third-party company that had the silver and the gold, and I think it was platinum, or it wasn't bronze, silver, I think it was silver, gold, platinum, something like that. And their lowest level was $1,250 a month and did less than our $250 a month package. And again, one thing that I pride myself in is that I don't make up examples or stories just to pitch to you guys and tell you during these trainings. It's absolutely true. I was like, it felt like it couldn't have been an easier example myself. Like it sounds that pretend. So it is as affordable as we can make it while still being effective in the marketing. So what Digital Accelerator is a digital marketing program where we do digital marketing, whether that be, depending on the package, for you. We collaborate, the digital marketer collaborates with you to execute plans on your behalf. The biggest thing, that's an absolute, I don't like absolutes. One of the biggest things that people miss when it comes to marketing is consistency. It's the number of agents that I've talked to who say, yeah, I've done a Facebook ad before, well, and I don't feel like it worked. And I say, well, when was it? I said, that was a couple of months ago. Or I do one ad a month for a couple of days. That doesn't work. That doesn't work, period, with any sort of marketing, right? You don't see commercials once. They don't put a commercial out on TV once and then go, well, I guess TV commercials don't work. Or you don't do a postcard campaign once and then not get a lead from it and go, I guess postcard campaigns don't work, right? So it's about consistency. When you're in Digital Accelerator, the goal is that there is some sort of ad campaign running at all times. And if there's a dip, it's because we had just finished one campaign and we're getting ready to start the next. But the consistency part of it is huge. That's the part where a lot of agents who are even really tech savvy don't always execute on that part of it, and consistency in marketing is key. There's some stat out there that we always talk about in our marketing team that I think someone needs to see something. It's either 7 or 17 times before it starts to sink in. That's crazy. I mean, again, if you do something once, you can't expect it to sink in. That's not how our brains work. So the consistency part of it is huge. And then also the voice, the you part of it. One of the biggest things is making sure that all of the content and any of the custom content within Digital Accelerator is unique to you as an agent. So we're going to talk about what all of these packages are, but the other big differentiator, arguably to me, the biggest differentiator is the fact that when you enter the program, you are connected with a digital marketer, a person. Those people who are on the call right now are going to turn their cameras on like magic, and they're going to show themselves real quick, and I'm going to introduce them super quickly here. But this is just a few. Are you guys using the same? Yeah, there's 2 Mia Gannons here. That's what I thought. I was like, something's weird. Mia's on here twice. So these are just 3 or 4 of our digital marketers who are the people that you get connected with. So Lindsay, if you can wave real quick, it's you are coming in as Mia, but you are Lindsay. So this is Lindsay Donnell. We've got Mary Kings here. We've got Mia Gannon, and then we've got Susie Ellis. Ellis, right? I'm saying it right. I knew I was. I just was testing you, actually. But these are 4 of our digital marketers. When you enter Digital Accelerator, you get connected with one of them, and they are your point person. They are the person that you have a monthly call with minimum, that you email, you can text during business hours. It's not a form that you're filling out online. It's not a support person that you never get to meet or that changes every time you call. It is this person. You are connected with one of these people, and I cannot tell you the feedback that I get. I mean, literally, I've gotten feedback on all 4 of these people in the past couple of weeks from one agent or another, talking about how great their experience are. Mary was just saying she had a client wanting to call Tracy yesterday and tell her how much she's loving it. That was the most recent one. That's the only reason I'm picking that one. But all 4 of them. Speaking of Tracy, she's texting me right now. Thank you guys for showing face for a second. You can turn your cameras off. There are, or you can keep them on. It's up to you. Myself included, there are 7 of us on this digital marketing team. We have other marketers who, one is actually meeting with a client right now, one's on vacation, Haley and Nicole. But that already to me is such a huge differentiator, and you're going to hear me use that word a lot. So, if you've got water, not alcohol, you can make a drinking game out of it. But the differentiator there is, again, is that you're working with a person that's getting to know your voice. So again, I always tell agents that, listings are what you are selling. That is your product, right? Or, clients that you're helping with listings, buying or selling. You are the business. You are the person you are the part that people want to work with, or you're hoping people want to work with. So if all you ever post are just listings, how am I going to get to know you? Why should I work with with you over agent B, agent C, etc.? So your voice is crucial. Your style, if you will, your aesthetic, your branding is crucial to really stand out. And what you'll see in some of these examples as we go is that the content is different for everybody. So I'm going to pull up our Schmidt Resources page here. Something, if you've ever seen me do any presentation, you know that Schmidt Resources is involved in some way, shape, or form. But I'm going to pull that up here in a second, and we're going to talk about we're going to go through some of the packages themselves in Digital Accelerator, and then we're going to go through what a good fit for this program is for you, and then we're going to show you some examples, and we're going to have a great time. So let me go back to sharing this screen. I got two screens. I got to make sure I share the right one. So, of course, because it's me, there is a page here on Schmidt Resources for Digital Accelerator. You can go to any of the regions. I'm going to click on Michigan right now. And right here in the middle, in the top row, you're going to see our Digital Accelerator packages square. So we're going to talk through this. But again, one thing you're going to see here at the very top, and one thing we're going to talk about later on, Digital Accelerator program is not a lead generation program. This is a digital marketing and technologies program, and although leads are included, lead generation is an aspect of this. They're only about a 10% of what we're calling the completed value. This is not a lead generation program. And the reason we have this disclaimer at the top is that oftentimes this program gets described to agents through a game of telephone, where all of a sudden the person's like, well, I heard, literally someone said, I thought this was called Lead Accelerator. And we had to explain, no. So we want to have this right at the top, and we also talk about it down the road here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through these packages, but obviously so many of these offerings are based around social media and digital media. So a business Facebook page, an Instagram account, your website through Moxie being set up well, a Google business listing, all of these things. Some people come into Digital Accelerator with those things ready to go. Some people come and they're like, hey, I don't even have a business page. So what we've created is something called our Getting Started package. So a Getting Started package is $100. It's a one-time fee, and you can purchase it with Digital Accelerator, the program. And what this is, what Getting Started is we basically set those things up for you. If you don't have those things, we're going to take them. If you do have them, we're going to make some tweaks to make sure they're ready to go, and we're going to make them all custom. So, if somebody came in with a literal, completely blank, I've got nothing prepared right now, what we would do is we would create a business Facebook page, create an Instagram account, create a Google business listing, set up testimonial tree to your website, make sure listings to leads is set up so that your leads flow automatically and that everything is set up appropriately, and we build you a custom company Facebook page, a company website page through Moxie. And if you have a custom domain, we will connect that. We'll do all of these things. That way, when it's time to start your Digital Accelerator program, you're ready to go. You've got all the assets needed. Ted, I'm going to answer that literally in about 30 seconds, so hold tight for that. So getting started, yes, this is something you would get with Digital Accelerator. Now, sometimes, actually about 10 seconds, sometimes people come to, what people had done previously is come to us and say, I know how to do the Facebook part. I know how to post things or to work on things, run ads and stuff like that. I just don't have the time right now to hunker down and get all of it ready. Translated, I want the getting started. I just don't really need to do Digital Accelerator right now as a monthly program. Or maybe it's a thing of, I want to do Digital Accelerator, but I'm not there yet. Maybe you're a brand new agent to real estate, which we'll talk about as when we get down to the packages. Maybe you're brand new to real estate. Maybe it's going to be off season and you don't want to do a monthly campaign at the moment, but you still want everything set up, refreshed, etc. That was something that we had been hearing a lot of, and so we took our Getting Started package and we also made something that we just started offering in July called Ignite. So what Ignite is it is basically getting started separated from Digital Accelerator. So it was within the offerings of the digital marketing umbrella. Adina, I'm going to talk about that in a second too. I'm going to finish my thoughts and then I'm going to go to questions because I get antsy. I get distracted. I'm like a dog sometimes. So see something shiny and go after it. So with what Ignite is it's all of the features of Getting Started, but as its own standalone thing. So you'll see it's $50 more because it's not part of the program. It's not part, you're not doing part of the monthly program. But for the $150, you get all of those things done. And if you click on this banner, what's cool about Ignite is that it's actually going to take you, let me separate it out. It's actually going to take you to the marketplace where you can add it to your cart and purchase it just like that. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to fill out any other forms. You can literally purchase Ignite through the Schmidt Marketplace. So I'm going to go read through this with you guys here, but not ready for DAP, but looking for digital marketing refresh, introducing Ignite. Everything from our Getting Started package as a one-time purchase. You're still going to work with one of our marketers. You're still going to get all of the refreshing and redesign done. But the difference here is that at the end of all of that, we hand the reins back to you. So the big difference here is that with Ignite, this is more of a creating or refreshing all of the assets, building you a custom homepage through Moxie, getting a Google business listing set up for you, or getting your Instagram account created or set up, getting a Facebook business page created, set up, or refreshed if it has been outdated for a while, making sure everything is configured like I said. And then we hand it back to you at the end and say, here you go, everything's ready for you to go. So all of this, so Adina, your question was how long do Getting Started and Ignite normally take? We have a 30-day window that we call it for both of these. So if you do Ignite, all of this stuff is going to be done within 30 days. Now, depending on timing, your responsiveness, and our workload, oftentimes we can get it done sooner. Oftentimes it might be 2.5, 3 weeks. But no matter what, it's always going to be done within a 30-day period. So once you're done, though, what's cool about Ignite is that we don't just say, okay, you're done, bye, and wave and watch you, walk down the driveway. We also created a digital marketing tips and tricks. I say cheat sheet. I should really update that to say packet. We've got 4 or 5 pages that this team put together that was amazing, that gives you best practices and tips and tricks on posting, content, websites, stuff like that. So you're walking away with a bit of a how-to. Now, like we said, obviously this is $50 more than the Digital Accelerator, than the Getting Started package. However, we've had some people like Ignite enough where they go, you know what, I actually do want to do this right now. They had such, as we say here, if you have an amazing experience with your digital marketer, which we know you will, and decide you want to join the program, if you do so within 60 days, you get that $50 off your first month. So you're still only paying the $100 for the Getting Started. So Ignite is, again, we've had it for about a month now. It's been very, very popular. But the one thing that I want to make clear that, again, we try to lay it out as best as possible is that these are all of the things that will be accomplished within 30 days in your program. Ignite itself is not something where we're going to be posting to your pages for you and doing it continuously. We're going to create everything. We're basically going to build the office for you, and then you can run the business. It's a broken metaphor, but I hope that makes sense. Getting Started itself, to further answer your question, Adina, Getting Started itself also happens within a 30-day period. Now, we used to do it where we started your first month of Digital Accelerator and we did Getting Started all within the first 30 days. So the first 30 days of your program, you're doing Getting Started and like your normal monthly stuff, and that just was not working on a bunch of different levels. So we've now separated out. So if you go, all right, JD, I'm going to join Digital Accelerator, I'm going to do Getting Started, and I want to do the Plus program, which we're going to talk about in a second here, the first up to 30 days of your program are going to be Getting Started. You're not going to be billed until the end of Getting Started for your month-to-month stuff. So it kind of happens on its own, and then we go into the monthly packages. Speaking of, does anybody have any other questions before we go into the 4 levels of the program? Wonderful. Okay, well, let's keep the going then. So what we're going to talk about now, I don't know, a second. This is the 4th text Tracy sent me. Dap Informational, and will respond to everything soon. Okay, so let's look at the 4 different levels. So there used to be 3 different levels. There are 4 now, and that's because again there was a lot of feedback. There was desire for something, and that's why we ended up building what we did. So we've got 4 levels here. We've got 2 that we call Presence, 1 we call Plus, 1 we call Premium. So we're going to go through these one by one, so you can understand the offerings of all of them. So basically, The presence levels are, they have one focus. They're either the social presence or they're the web presence. Social presence includes, and again, you can see all this on Schmidt resources, but I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. Social presence includes 4 to 5 weekly posts on your business Facebook page. This is going to be a mixture of custom graphics for you, branded graphics, articles from around the web that are relevant to you, your business, your passions and desires, and then of course 2 to 3 weekly posts on Instagram as well. A Google business listing, we're going to make sure to update and maintain that. A Google business listing is huge right now, especially as Google ads become more and more valuable. Custom landing page for additional property marketing and lead gen. What that is basically when you have listings, whether they're yours or office listings, we leverage those. We have landing pages for each property where we'll do lead gen, deliver up to 15 lead opportunities monthly. I think maybe a better phrasing of that is I'd say kind of minimum 15 lead opportunities monthly. That's our benchmark. Most of the time, especially if you have listings, we far surpass that. Up to 2 targeted social media ad campaigns. So what you're seeing with these prices are all inclusive. If you get social presence for $250 a month, you're not going to be charged a penny more per month for Digital Accelerator. You're going to, all ad spend, everything is included. And so we're going to talk about this in a bit, but what we ask for is a commitment of at least 1 Zoom session per month with your digital marketing specialist and 6-month participation in the program. The reason we ask for those things, again, we'll touch on this later. The reason we ask for those things goes back to the consistency of the marketing. Digital Accelerator does not work as a start and stop program. Agents ask sometimes if they can move between programs. Maybe they do web presence for a couple of months and then they say, hey, can I move to social presence? Absolutely. They're made to be able to do that. They're made for you to be able to upgrade. They're made for you to be able to switch. But I don't recommend doing that consistently, because then there's no consistent efforts that are happening on your page or on your marketing in general. So the targeted ad campaigns. Wow, I completely lost my train of thought. I don't know what my deal is. So, we were talking about the 6-month commitment. So the 6-month commitment part of it is to make sure that we give ourselves time to build the presence. We had an agent once. This is an agent in West Michigan. I don't want to say names or anything, but the agent in West Michigan, in her 2nd month, she was saying, "Hey, I don't feel like this is, I don't feel like there's any traction building. I don't know if I want to keep doing this." And Tracy and I both spoke to her and said, "Hey, we went over that, not just the 6-month commitment part of it, but the reasoning behind that." And then, hand to God, at the 6-month mark, Tracy checked in, and the agent said to her, she goes, "My friends keep telling me they see me everywhere. They say they can't go on Facebook or Instagram without seeing a post or an ad from me." And we were saying, that's the point. That's it right there. But it takes that time to get to that point. So the social presence, as you can tell, is focused on social media. It is focused on your Facebook and your Instagram, your Google business, stuff like that. The next level is web presence. So the Digital Accelerator web presence is kind of the other hand of the social presence level. So what I mean by that is the web presence is mainly focused on your website. So full Moxie website management, you get a complete custom homepage, custom searches, and community pages. If you have other content you want on your page, we're going to make sure that we build pages for that kind of stuff. And then testimonial tree, making sure that that is set up properly on your page, that your reviews are feeding well, and that you have, whether it be a slider or the page for SEO, all of that sort of stuff. We also have a Google ad campaign that we run for direct website traffic. Now, you'll notice in these 4 that the web presence program is the only program without lead generation. That's because when we do our web presence program, what we're solely focused on is building traffic to your site. So what people will do is they will be sent to your website, and I have agents who have received leads, like from other agents or from other clients across the country, from the ads that we are running in Digital Accelerator. However, that is not necessarily the main goal of them. The main goal is web traffic. Leads are just a bonus. So let's take those are the 2 social presence levels. And look at the questions here real quick. social media posts from the web link back to our mock site, or are they just a coastal living article link, for example? Melanie asks, are the social media posts, the articles, are they going to link back to your site, or are they going to be just, like an article from across the web or something like that? And it's a great question, and the answer is all of the above. So if we're doing, especially when we're doing custom graphics and some of the more custom content, those are either going to be living just right there on the Facebook page. So they're, maybe they're market stats where we just put a big graphic up there with that information, or they're going to have passive calls to action that draw people back to your website. We also do have, do post articles that are more, I kind of call them evergreen content or lifestyle content that would be like the coastal living one. So things like that aren't necessarily going to go back to your site because they're, this isn't necessarily a blogging blogging program, but there are, it kind of depends on the purpose of the post, if that makes sense. Obviously, listings and stuff, of course, will also go back to your page. Let me see if that answers it. How many of the social media posts are generic articles versus specific to me? It's a good question, Adina. I'd say normally I always aim for at least 2 to 3 custom graphics per week, depending on the content and the number of listings that you have, stuff like that. So when it comes to the kind of stuff we're posting, listings generally are one of the priorities because that's what brings us. We'll talk about this in a bit, but that's where the bulk of the leads are always going to be coming from. And then the custom graphics, a lot of that also depends on your collaboration, which we'll get to as well. I think we tend to aim for more of that than articles. There may be a time where, hey, you know what? Because you asked the question, Adina hasn't responded to any emails in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not sure if she likes these custom graphics. I'm going to post some articles to make sure things are going out there. But as soon as I hear back, we're going to run with these and stuff like that. So part of it is really about making sure that we are posting content that is relevant to you and your area and your business, but also that you are, and we'll talk about this too, I keep saying that, signing off on what is happening. So actually now's a perfect time to kind of mention that part. When it comes to the content in general, the social media content, there are sort of 2 camps of agents. There are some agents that are like, you know what, post whatever. I trust you. You guys know what you do. You guys know what you're doing. Maybe you'll shoot an email once in a while, say, hey, can you change this, or can you do something a little less like this next time? I'll go, yep, no problem. And then there are other agents who are like, hey, I want to see the stuff that you post before you post it. I kind of want to see what the calendar is. And so we'll make sure to show you, hey, here are the 5 things for next week. Thoughts, questions, concerns, anything like that. Sometimes it's a build, right? You might start there and then build to a point where you're like, they know my voice now, we're good, and you kind of move from there. So the next level after social and web is plus. Plus is basically those 2 combined and then some. So you'll see the weekly posts, the business page, the Instagram, the Google business listing, the SEO management, Google ad campaign, basically presence or social and web put together. But then we also have the monthly curated and distributed newsletter. So we will build a newsletter for you in Moxie, custom again for you, and send it out to a list that you have created and put into your Moxie Engage. So as one example of one of those newsletters, this is one made for one of our agents in Florida. It is with her kind of branding, her style, and it's unique to her. There is no other newsletter in Digital Accelerator that's going to look like this. It's not that we just change the color, we change the name, and move on from there. This is her newsletter, and it is going to her base. And I mean, it's one of my favorite parts of the program because it's where people get to be the most creative. So I love seeing a lot of the newsletters that the team creates. So you get the monthly curated and distributed newsletter, review and brand reputation management, and then basically more ads and more leads. So we'll do at least, we deliver up to 30 lead opportunities monthly. And we have the Google ad campaign going as well. And then we try, 3 social media campaigns across Facebook and Instagram and the Meta suite of products. And then last but not least, the premium package. So all that and a bag of chips. So basically the premium package is designed for global luxury agents and teams. Global luxury agents, everything here is going to be luxury branded. or at least to the level that you want it. Some agents say I want a lot of my stuff luxury, but if it's under luxury, I don't I want it to look a little bit different. I don't want to alienate residential. We have some agents who are like everything. I want everything luxury. Your website will be turned into will have a luxury feel and look to it. All your campaigns, the content we look for is all going to be geared towards that. This is also the program that we put teams in. Obviously, the definition of team changes from day to day, but when you have a team of 2, 3, 4 more people, it takes enough marketing to make sure that you're really getting that branding out there, those team members out there. And so that's why when we've got luxury agents or teams, we're big believers in premium, because again, it's everything luxury created. It's more lead opportunities. It's more ad campaigns. It's a way for us to make sure that we are really fully putting ourselves out there, or putting you out there with our ad campaigns. Now, one thing you'll notice that is might seem strange is this. You'll see on 3 of the 4 of these, it says lead opportunities can be reduced at agent request for manageability. What that means is that we've had some agents say, I am getting too many leads. Can you slow down on those? Because they want to make sure that they are responding to everything appropriately. So we can do that. I have had agents say, hey, I don't want to focus on leads this month. I want to do this. That is always going to be acceptable. One thing we try not to do is kind of make this a plug and play where, okay, well, I don't need A, B, C, and D, but I'd love for you to be able to do, E, F, G, H for me. The second we start taking things out and adding things to the programs, it's harder for us to deliver on our deliverables and our guarantees because they weren't built around that. So we try to be careful with that aspect of things. But little things like that, we can always, hey, I don't want to do leads this month. I want to do this, or I want to do one big campaign this month instead of 2 or 3 smaller ones. Stuff like that, we're always going to be able to move around with. The leads are delivered right into your Moxie Engage. So any way that we generate the leads, which is 2 or 3, multiple different ways, they all funnel right into your Moxie Engage, into that CRM, and you can use it there. So any other questions about the programs themselves, the offerings? Make sure I don't lose my voice here. Okay, so let's go back down here into what the program is and then the ideal candidate, which are important points that I love talking about these parts. So again, what the program is that this is a digital marketing program. It is not just a lead gen program. It is not a Facebook program. It's digital marketing. How we kind of break that down is that 50% of it is focused on brand reputation. What that means is this is how you are viewed by the consumer digitally, and not just how you are viewed but how often are you viewed digitally. There's the consumer trust in your brand, and by brand, we don't just mean Coldwell Banker or Century 21, we mean you as the agent and the brand that you're associated with. But do they trust you? Are they confident enough to do business with you? This is where you work with your designer, your digital marketer, to really make sure that your unique selling proposition shines. About 40% of this is focused on marketing listings and solds, open houses, basically real estate related things, local market stats. Local market stats, I cannot stress how huge those are right now. How big of an opportunity it is for us to be able to brand you as the local expert. I literally, again, hand to God, read a story this morning from a seller who wanted to list his condo at $490 because I don't know where this person didn't share where. Wanted to list it at $490 because the one down the road had just listed for $480. And so he said, that seemed pretty accurate. Their agent said, we can do that if you want, but I recommend doing $475 and letting people kind of work the price up. Now, tactics aside, I think there's pros and cons about both of those different opinions. The condo ended up selling for $515, and what I liked about this was that the agent or the client said the agent lived about a mile down the road from us. I believe it was his local market expertise that helped get us this high price. That to me is huge. That local expertise is very, very valuable in this market right now, with things changing the way they are, with people reading headlines but not really knowing what's going on. Local market expertise is huge. So market stats, whether that be from your MLS, for your state, for you and your business, that is huge right now. Marketing listings, solds, open houses, stuff like that. So that is the kind of stuff, we'll talk about this in a minute, that you are responsible for delivering to your digital marketing specialist. If you have a new listing, we don't know that unless you tell us, right? So making sure that you're sending your new listings, or hey, I just got these stats from our MLS, can you do something with these? Absolutely, we're going to make them look awesome. And then last but not least, like we've said, 10% focused on lead opportunities. So when we are effective with the above, especially listings, this is what helps generate the lead opportunities. And a lead opportunity, to get definitional here, a word I just made up, they are consumers that have expressed some type of interest in a home, selling a home, or learning more about you and what you and your brand have to offer. A lead, this is important, a lead is an unqualified consumer, which means you must be savvy in working that sales cycle to convert them into a prospect, to convert them into a client. National Association of Realtors says that it can take between 6 to 24 months for leads to incubate. And if I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this part, I don't believe that's just internet leads. That is leads in general. A referral who might not be ready yet, or someone who goes on a website. Think about how early in the process someone might start filling out a form online when they're curious versus when they're ready. So we have had leads. Again, we had a lead that literally within, I think the ad started on a Tuesday or a Thursday. The following Tuesday, the agent had 2 listings from one lead. The client had a parcel of land and a home that they wanted to put on the market. We have had agents convert within a week or two. That is not how lead gen across the nation works. And so, this is not a lead scrubbing program, I guess is the way that we want to say it. This is a lead opportunity. That's why using Moxie Engage, putting them on cycle, stuff like that, that's where your expertise as an agent comes into play, to make sure that you are working the leads, essentially, putting them on the drip campaigns and stuff. I see there's a question, so I'm going to look at that before I go on to the ideal candidate part. So Melanie asks, are you providing the market stats? And the answer is no, Melanie. That's one of the things, like we say in this thing here, that you are responsible to deliver to the marketing specialist. That is because all our agents all sit across our entire company, right? So we've got agents in DAP literally in all parts of Michigan, Ohio, Florida, and the Virgin Islands. We don't have access to all of that data. We just don't. Then there's no precise way for us to all have access to every MLS, to every program like that. So that's where you guys come in. We'll talk about the collaboration in the next section. We're going to make it look pretty and beautiful and concise for the consumer, but we need the data to be supplied by you, because we also have other sources we can find online. I want to say it's things like Redfin, and I think even Realtor.com have neighborhood and market stats. They're not reliable. We can do it like that, but it's not going to be as reliable as the stuff directly from your MLS or from your market. So again, that kind of stuff can be discussed. Like to use one of our marketers as an example, she had used, I want to say it was Realtor.com. It was one of them that started with an R, that or Redfin, that did market stats. One of her agents was totally fine using that as a source. The other one was like, no, I'm going to go to the MLS and find stuff. So if you look at the stats and go, hey, I like that, I trust that, go for it, then awesome, we can do that part of it. But for the most accurate, most up-to-date stuff, that's stuff that we need provided to you from your MLS, from your board, from Florida Association of Realtors, thankfully, has a really good website where we can look at stuff. But yeah. So let's talk now about the left-hand side here. Are you ready for DAP, the ideal candidate? So this is a thing that's important for me to let you guys know. We are not, and when I say we, I mean myself and Tracy, and therefore also the team, we're not looking to get the most people in this program. Our goal, I'll speak for myself personally, my goal is not numbers. Right? It's not, I want the most people in here so we can bring in the most money, and that we can make sure that you are getting all of this value, and that our brand is everywhere, and that you are getting leads. That's not what the goal is. The goal is for this to be successful for you and your business. So basically the way that this runs, and you'll see this in a little bit here, the way that this runs is that if you sign up, if you think you're ready for DAP, Tracy Bacigalupi is going to have a phone call with you and go over the program. She's going to go over the program that you said that you were interested in. You're going to talk about your business, your year, your production, where you're trying to go with your business. And if at the end of that conversation she says, hey, you know what? This doesn't sound like the right program for you right now. She's going to tell you that. She's not going to go, well, they're probably not going to be good, but blah, 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 blah. I want them in anyway. We want this to be successful for you. So if this isn't the right time for you, we're going to tell you that. Or you might say that. You might listen to myself or Tracy and go, you know what? It sounds great. Now is not the time. Maybe later this year. Maybe sometime next year. So this, to me, this program is about success. It is not about quantity. So we have some bullet points here that are kind of describe the quote-unquote ideal candidate. I always quote Pirates of the Caribbean here and say these are more like guidelines than rules. They're not hard and fast, but the general idea is what's important here. So the ideal candidate has at least 1 year in real estate and has listed and sold at least one property successfully. We've had people in the program before who get leads and have asked us, how do I write this how do I write a listing agreement? How do I do that? You should know how to do that if you're going to do lead gen, because you want to make sure you're giving a good service to your clients, to your leads. So we want to make Digital Accelerator, the monthly program, really is not a new agent program. Ignite is awesome for new agents because you get all the stuff set up for you, you get a beautiful website, and then you can start your business. But the month-to-month lead generation and digital marketing is not necessarily the best fit for a new agent or someone who's been here for a few months. Has access to at least 1 or 2 listings at all times. Now that's why I say it has access to. These could be your listings or office listings. Listings are the key to powerful lead generation. That is what this program is. That's where we've seen the most success now in the 2 years of this program is listings. We know, especially with low inventory, you don't always have a listing. That's just the nature of the market right now. If that's why we encourage you to talk to other agents in your office. Say, hey, JD, do you mind if I use your listing for an ad campaign? I'm going to credit you as the listing agent. We're not going to disguise it as somebody else's listing, but we can do it we can leverage those to generate leads, to generate business for you. Has the financial ability to commit to at least 6 months. We talked about this for a while, so I'm not going to hammer this too much more, but marketing is a consistent effort to be successful and experience the greatest impact. Starting and stopping is not effective. There's a couple of points here, but basically you know how to use some of the programs. And this kind of goes back to has been in the business for a while. So we're going to be running the lead gen, we're going to be running the social media and the listings to leads and all the lead gen like that. However, once the leads are delivered to you, it's up to you to reach out, to nurture them, to incubate those leads. All of our digital marketers are all also graphic designers, fully capable digital marketers, fully capable graphic designers. Their job is to execute these ad campaigns for you, but after that part, it's up to you to nurture them. So knowing how to get into Moxie Engage and access your leads, knowing if a client calls you, what to say and how to work the lead. And that actually kind of brings us down here. These bottom two: be able to effectively nurture and develop unqualified and unscrubbed lead opportunities, and then work the sales cycle. Basically, again, having knowledge of the industry, having knowledge of the career, and then finally, will collaborate and effectively communicate with your digital marketing specialist and engage them to, I got to add an M there, engage them to create content specific to you, including your unique selling proposition. Collaborate and effectively communicate. That is what this program is built on. Every agent that has left or has had said this isn't for me anymore, I would feel comfortable saying all of those were built around lack of communication in some way. I use this example too. I had an agent who started Digital Accelerator, and she ended up I'm trying to think of the math on this. I did her onboarding call with our marketer, and then for 2 weeks was super responsive, and then all of a sudden started ghosting our marketer. And for the next 4 weeks, our marketer once or twice a week would be emailing and calling, saying, hey, just trying to get in touch. Hey, trying to make sure, you want to make sure that we're here. So at the end of these 6 weeks, I get a call from the agent and says, hey, I don't know if DAP is right for me because I don't feel like I'm getting anything done. And so I said, okay, let me look back, talk to the marketer, came back, and I said, you haven't responded to anything in 4 weeks. She's called you, she's left voicemails, she's emailed you, but you're not responding to anything. How are they supposed to know what's going on here? So that collaboration, that communication, guys, is massive. We're going to hold up our end of the bargain, but in order, like another example is if you say, I want to make sure that I see everything you post before you post it. We're going to give it to you in advance, but if you don't respond for 4, 5, 6 days, our options are to either post it or have a gap in posting, and that creates problems either way. So collaboration and effective communication is crucial to the success of this program. We kind of did a beta run of Digital Accelerator back in 2020. We have an agent from 2020 who is still in it, and I'm trying to get the other stats up for this. We've had a client in depth there. We've had 30 clients who are in Digital Accelerator for a year or longer, and then an additional 35 who have been in for 1 to 11 months who are still going. So yes, that 6-month commitment is kind of the minimum that we go for, but we've got dozens literally who are staying well past that because of the value. And the ones who are staying, the reason that they're staying, the reason the program is successful for them is because they're engaging in it. So engaging with your digital marketer is just, I cannot stress enough how important that part is. I want to stop right here. So if you guys have questions, please share them. But while I'm waiting for those questions, I do want to share some other stats with you guys. So this was this is basically the first half of 2022. So January 1st through June 30th or 31st. I don't remember if there is one. Our team generated over 7,000 leads in those 6 months for our clients. Keep in mind, those leads go right to you, to the agent. They go directly into your Moxie Engage. Over 7,000 leads generated. We've also had over 5,047,000 impressions served, meaning 5,047,000 people have seen your ads on social media, and over 350,000 engagements, clicks, shares, comments, etc. 350,000 engagements. I had an agent, one of my agents that has been in the program since January or February? January, I believe. She asked me, she goes, I don't know, JD, is it worth it? Is it worth the money? And I've known her for since she started, so I was able to say, well, if you took this money outside of DAP, do you think you could? I had her report. I'm going to show you guys a report in a second. Do you think you could replicate this by yourself? And she kind of smiled and she goes, nah, no, I couldn't. I said, exactly, right? So part of this that we're doing is the I don't have time to do it, or I don't know how to do it as effectively as it could be done. So just to share those fun stats, 5 million impressions served, over 350,000 engagements, and over 7,000 leads generated in the first half of 2022 alone. As I'm sure you remember, or hopefully remember earlier, I talked earlier about how we have a Zoom call every month. So once a month minimum, we touch base and we do a Zoom call. Where we kind of go over a recap of the month, what we've done, what we're going to do in the next month, and stuff like that. The Zoom sessions generally only happen once a month, one Zoom call a month. However, that's not the only time you get to talk to your digital marketer. You can call them, you can email them, you can text them. You can do that any time of the day or night. We're only going to respond during business hours, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, but we know that those ideas come to you. I swear to God, Tuesday morning, this week, maybe yesterday morning, I woke up, I had an email from an agent that was sent at like 4:34 a.m. We know that those ideas come to you at any time of day, so you can email them wherever. I just want to make it clear that it's not just the one Zoom call a month that you meet with us. So when we do these monthly calls, we also give you a report for how your month has gone, like just a recap of what we've done for a month. This is an example of one of them. for some clients in our premium program, we talk about all the things we've accomplished, and then we show you some of the previews of your ads that we've run, and we show you the leads that we generated, potential buyers, the clicks to your site, and impressions from the Google ads. This is a premium client. Remember, premium is delivering up to 40 lead opportunities, right? 176 lead opportunities in the last 30 days for this client. 176. That's crazy. So you get that every month because not only are we asking you to collaborate and communicate with us, we're doing the same from our end. We are holding ourselves accountable to you and making sure that we are delivering what we say we're going to deliver. So the other thing I wanted to share just super quick here are just some other examples of some of the things that have been created in Dap. This is just a smorgasbord, if you will, of websites, newsletters, graphics, all things like that we've made custom to specific clients. So just, again, I'm going through quickly because I just want to show the example that it's not just, okay, here are our 4 templates that we swap between. No, they are separate things made for you in your style with your collaboration. So we're almost done here. I've only got basically one more part that I want to talk about, which is next steps. So, okay, you go, JD, I'm interested. You've got me. Your sales pitch, although you faltered many times, ultimately won me over. What do I do next? Well, what you do is you go to this page, the schmidtresources.com/DAP program, and again, you'll see it on every page in Schmidt, or every region in Schmidt Resources. But if you scroll to the bottom, and yes, we make you scroll to the bottom, the reason we make you scroll to the bottom is so that you can't say, oh, I didn't see any of this stuff, because you literally have to get to this form. If you think you're ready for DAP, you can fill out this form. Name, email, phone, what region are you in? And then what package are you interested in? Social, web, plus premium. Remember, if you want Ignite, you can go straight to the marketplace and purchase it there. I'll even show you that instead. If you go to schmidtresources.com and you click on marketplace, it's in the first row right here. So if you're looking for just Ignite, click, purchase, Bob's your uncle, on your way. But if you're thinking of one of the monthly programs, you can fill out this form, and then Tracy will get in touch with you. And if it's a good fit, if you think you're ready for it, and Tracy thinks it's a good fit, we're going to connect you with a digital marketer, and we're going to set an onboarding date for you, where you're going to go through a little onboarding. We call them, again, there's kind of 2 onboardings. There's the initial phone call with Tracy, and then there's the actual onboarding into the program where you meet your digital marketer, you go through all the deliverables, what you're going to get month to month, and then we start executing. Sometimes if you just, if you called today and said, all right, JD, I'm ready, you had the phone call with Tracy and we're moving to the next step, it might be a week or 2 out that you're scheduled to have your onboarding call, but we are going to get it on the calendar, and you're not going to be charged until the program starts. So if you buy Ignite, if you purchase Ignite, you're going to pay when you check out, and we're going to put you on the calendar. If you're going to do Presence Plus Premium, whatever, you're not going to start paying that monthly fee until the program starts. So, and we've had agents say, they fill out the form and they say, I'm not going to be ready until October. So we'll schedule your call. We'll put you on the calendar, but you're not going to be charged until October. So if you're interested in DAP, if you want to learn more, you fill out this form. Tracy's going to get in touch, and we're going to see if it's a good fit. So that's it, guys. That is the in-depth overview of Digital Accelerator program. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, that you want to ask while we're here. Obviously, if you think of something later, you can email me, you can email Tracy. But any questions while we're all hanging out? I feel like I see Adina typing. I don't know if that's to me or if it's just... Okay, no, I want to make sure. I just want to make sure. I didn't want you to be like, I don't want to say bye, and you're like, no, I'm still typing. Okay, so so my email, guys, I'll put it in the chat here just so you guys can see it. But of course, that is also on Schmidt Resources. Is jd.schmidt. Did I spell that right? You'd think I would. At schmidthq.com. If you have questions, you can email those to me. You can email them to Tracy. Tracy's actually on vacation for the next week, but again, if you have stuff for me, we also have our assistant manager. Oh, Adina's filling out the form. Okay, wonderful. Haley, who could answer questions, but again, send them to me. I'm more than happy to answer them or connect you with somebody else who will. Also, last thing I'll say before we sign off. As I mentioned, all of your digital marketers are also fully capable graphic designers. So if you're doing some social media stuff, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I also want a postcard campaign, they can work on that for you. It's technically separate from DAP, right? It's not included in Digital Accelerator, but it's still something that they have the abilities to do and will work on for you in tandem. So they are your point person. Once you started working with a digital marketer, they are your point person for all things marketing from our company. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not just the DAP stuff, and then if you need a postcard or a flyer, you have to go to somebody else. So anyway, that's all I've got. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. If you have questions, you know where to find me, but have a great rest of your day. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you sometime soon.